Yes, dear students. So today we are moving on to the next topic, that is audition, human ear. That is also a very interesting and important topic. Human ear. Human ear, its structure and function. Human ear, structure, and function. And in this module, we will study about the mechanism of hearing also and some disorders also. So as we all know, human ear, it is a sense organ. Ear is a sense organ. It is a very complex part. It is a complex part of the human body, and it is the most complex part of the all sensory system. Human ear is a much more complex structure, and it is present bilaterally. Bilaterally means it is present on either side of human skull. It is located Human ear is located on either it is located on either side of the skull. That means it is bilaterally present on the skull. It is bilaterally means either side. Bilaterally. Bilaterally means either side, both sides, right side as well as on the left side of the skull, and it is at the same level as the nose. Is located on either side of the skull and at the same level of the nose. At the same level of the nose. This is the position. This is the position of our ear. And we know that human ear, it is an organ of hearing as well as it is an organ of balance or equilibrium. Human ear is an organ of hearing as well as equilibrium, to maintain the balance of the body, maintaining the balance of the body. Equilibrium. It is both the organ of hearing and the equilibrium. That is the function of human ear. It is the organ of hearing. So there are two parts that performs the function of hearing as well as which performs the function of equilibrium. So two functions are there. One is hearing or audition. The second one is equilibrium, maintaining equilibrium or balance of the body. So human ear is a sense organ which is located on either side of the skull. It is located on either side of the skull, bilaterally located, and it is at the same level of the nose, and it has two functions. One is hearing, other one is maintaining the balance of the body. It maintains the balance of the body. And now we can see the ear. Human ear is anatomically it is divided into three portions, three parts, three portions. Anatomically, our ear is divided into three parts. Anatomical division of the human ear. It consists of three parts. One is the external ear or outer ear or pinna. External ear, or it is the outer ear is also known as pinna, and the ear have another middle part, that is the middle ear, which consists of ear bones or ear ossicles. Middle ear consists of ear bones or ear ossicles, and the internal part, that is the internal ear. Internal ear consists of the organ both for hearing and the balance or equilibrium. So these are the three portions. Anatomically, our ear is divided into three portions. One is external portion, that is the external ear or outer ear. It is also known as pinna. And the middle area, middle part of the ear is the middle ear. It consists of ear bones or ear ossicles. Ear bones, otherwise known as ear ossicles or ear bones, ear ossicles or ear bones. And the third, the innermost part of the ear is the internal ear. It consists of the organs, the parts for hearing and the parts for equilibrium. So the organs for hearing or the part of the ear for hearing, it is located inside the ear, as well as the part of the ear which is maintaining the balance of the body is also located inside the internal part of the ear. That is the internal ear. So once again, anatomically, we can say that now we are moving into the detailed structure of ear. We can say that ear is divided into three parts. One is external ear, then middle ear, then internal ear. External ear, middle ear, and the internal ear. And here, the human ear, we know that it is an organ of hearing. So it detects and analyzes the sound. Human ear detects, it detects and analyzes the vibrations around us. It detects and analyzes the sound waves, sound. It detects and analyzes the sound around us. Okay. And ear, inside the ear, the sound waves are converting into, the sound waves are converting into electrochemical impulses inside our ear. When the sound reaches our ear, it is converted into electrochemical signals or electrochemical signals or electrochemical impulses. So we can say that physiologically we can say that ear detects and analyzes the sound. It detects and analyzes the sound, and it converts the sound waves into electrochemical signals or electrochemical impulses, and also maintains the sense of balance or equilibrium. So these are the functions of ear. Now we can see each part of the ear. Okay, it is every sense organs are working in a coordinated manner only. Now we can see the detailed parts of our ear. So the first area is the outer ear or external ear. Okay, so this part is also, it is also known as pinna, external ear or pinna. Again we can say the outermost part as the auricle, because it has a shape of the chamber of the heart. It has a shape of the chamber of the uppermost chamber of heart. Our heart, human heart, consists of four chambers, that like this. Human heart consists of four chambers like this. So the uppermost chamber is somewhat like this. This is the uppermost chamber, these two. It is also known as auricle. That is why, because of the shape of the external ear or outermost ear, the shape is somewhat like this, no? Ear, ear with the ear lobe. This is the ear lobe with an ear ring. Okay. So somewhat it is similar to the shape of the auricle of the heart, and hence we can say the outermost ear, the name auricle. Okay, auricle. And we know that some cartilages, the our external ear consists of cartilage. Also cartilage is a very flexible bone, and our ear consists of a mixture of bones, nerves, and blood vessels, various membranes and muscles. Everything are there, the whole ear, that is the outer ear, the middle ear, and the internal ear. Entire ear consists of bones, cartilage, nerves. Auditory nerve is there, like optic nerve. Auditory nerves are there, and blood vessels. sorry, blood vessels, as well as various membranes and muscles. All these structures are present in our ear. So the external ear serves it collects the sound waves. External ear or outer ear or pinna, it collects the sound waves. It collects the sound waves. Sound waves. The shape of the ear is like a funnel, no? It collects all these sound waves, and it attaches with the middle ear through a canal like structure which is known as the uh, auditory meatus or ear canal that we will see. So the auricle, it is also known as pinna. It is a musculocutaneous tissue. Musculocutaneous. That means it consists of muscles as well as skin. Musculocutaneous. It is a musculocutaneous structure. Musculocutaneous structure means it consists of muscles and skin. It is attached to the skull, and the function of auricle is to collect the sound waves or to capture the sound waves. It captures the sound waves. Okay, and it consists of ear lobe is there, earlobe. And this earlobe is also attached with the skull, but there is no significant function for earlobe. Earlobe has no significant function. That is the medial aspect. It is a medial part of the ear. It is a medial aspect, medial part. But there is no significant function for the earlobe. And the our this auricle consists of a lateral part also. Lateral part, that is this side. Lateral part is the two sides. It is just like a concave structure. It is like a concave structure, concave structure, and it is just like a funnel. It is like a funnel. Okay, and the outer rim. So this is the outer rim. I'm drawing in yellow color like this. This is the outer rim. This outer rim of the auricle, which is known as the helix, this outer part, outer rim like structure of the auricle, which is known as the helix helix helix. It is known as the helix. Okay, and the helix, from here, the helix at the basal part of the helix consists of the earlobe. The basal part of the helix, that consists of the earlobes, where we are keeping our earrings and all. So that is the basal part of the helix, which is known as the ear lobe, and there is no specific function for ear lobe. Okay, so that is our external ear. External ear, the consist of a helix as well as earlobe. Earlobe is much more fleshy. This lobule, it is a fleshy part. That is a posterior or the basal part of the external ear. The base of the external ear is a earlobe. Earlobe. So that is the our outer ear. Outer ear. Now we can see the middle ear, how the outer ear is connects to the middle ear. Suppose I don't know how to exactly draw an ear. This is our ear, outer ear. And from here, we can see a canal-like structure. It's like a canal-like structure. Eustachian tube is there, like this. Here comes a membrane. So this external ear is connects with the middle ear. This portion, here comes the middle ear, middle ear. This is the external ear, external ear. Okay, so this middle ear consists of, or else we can say that the external ear is connects with the middle ear through a canal-like structure. This canal-like structure is known as auditory canal. This is auditory. This is the auditory canal or external meatus. This is known as the auditory canal. Auditory canal. It is the auditory canal. So the sound waves are collected by our, it is captured by our external ear, and the sound waves are traveling through this external auditory meatus, external, external auditory, auditory meatus or meatus. That is the auditory canal. It is the auditory canal, and it reaches the middle ear. In between, you can see a membranous structure, a membranous structure, a membrane-like structure. This membrane-like structure is known as a tympanic membrane. Tympanic membrane. This is a tympanic membrane. So the sound waves are traveling through the external auditory canal or auditory meters, and the sound waves hits on the tympanic membrane. From the tympanic membrane, the middle ear begins. From the tympanic membrane, the middle ear begins from the tympanic membrane. Tympanic membrane is there. Tympanic membrane is a very thin and a transparent membrane. It is a thin and transparent, very thin and transparent membrane. It is very thin membrane. It is a transparent membrane. Yes. So this tympanic membrane is also known as eardrum. It is known as eardrum. Eardrum. It is also known as eardrum. Tympanic membrane or eardrum. It forms the boundary between the outer ear and the middle ear. Tympanic membrane forms the boundary between the outer ear and the middle ear. It is the boundary between outer ear and the middle ear. So tympanic membrane is a membrane-like structure. It is a very transparent membrane. It is very thin and it forms the boundary between, it forms, or it is a connection link between the outer ear and the middle ear. Okay, when the sound waves hits on the tympanic membrane, it stretches or it vibrates. The tympanic membrane vibrates. When the sound waves hits on the tympanic membrane, it vibrates. The tympanic membrane. It is also known as the eardrum. It is found at the bottom of the external auditory meters, and it acts as a border between the external ear and middle ear. Okay, and from the tympanic membrane, we can see some very little or very minute bones. Three bones are present here, like this. These are known as the ear bones or ear ossicles, malleus. Then from the malleus, we can see incus. From the malleus, incus bone is arising. And from the incus, we can see stapes or stirrup like structure, stapes. So these are ear ossicles, ear bones or ear ossicles. First one is, the first ear bone is malleus, then incus, then stapes. I will write it here. Malleus. The second bone is incus, and the third ear bone is the stapes. That is a very small bone in our whole body. Stapes. Stapes is a very small or little bone which is present in our body. So from the tympanic membrane, malleus is attached with the tympanic membrane. Incus is attached with malleus as well as stapes, and the stapes is attached with the inner ear. Stapes is attached. Stapes is connecting. It is connecting with the oval window of the inner ear. That I will explain later. First, we will discuss about the middle ear. Now we are discussing about the middle ear. Middle ear consists of ear bones or ear ossicles. Middle ear consists of ear bones or ear ossicles, and from the tympanic membrane, from here, not here, from the tympanic membrane. So here you can see the ear bones. That is the middle part. From the tympanic membrane, here you can see uh, a structure which is moving downwards like this. That is our eustachian tube. This is the eustachian tubule. Eustachian tube. Eustachian tube. Eustachian tube. This is our eustachian tube. Eustachian tube. Okay. Yes. So this entire structures are the middle ear portion. So when the sound waves are comes and hits the tympanic membrane, the tympanic membrane vibrates. And that vibration, the vibration of the tympanic membrane makes the vibrations of malleus, ingus, and stapes. It is a chain like reaction. It is a chain reaction. When the tympanic membrane vibrates, that vibrations will transmit to the ear bones. So simultaneously malleus will vibrate. The vibrations of malleus will makes the vibrations of the ingus. The vibrations of the incus makes the stapes also to vibrate, and the sound waves are passing through all these ear bones or ear ossicles through vibrations, and it reaches to the internal ear. So here comes the internal ear. This part station tubule, I will explain that it is a pressure, it is to maintain the pressure balance of our body. I will explain that. Before that, let me finish this. So the sound waves are passing through the ear canal, and it reaches the tympanic membrane. From the tympanic membrane, the sound waves are moving through these ear bones or ear ossicles, and it travels through the oval window. It is a round shape, oval shaped door, like it is an opening, oval shaped opening. That opening, that is known as the oval window. This is known as the oval window. This oval window, through this oval window, the sound waves are reaching the internal ear. Through the oval window, the sound waves are reaching where? The sound waves are reaching the internal ear. Okay, so this eustachian tube, it is a very short tube that connects the middle ear to our pharynx. Our pharynx is our throat. The meeting will end in 6 minutes. Okay, so this eustachian tube is a very short tube which connects our middle ear to the pharynx. It is an organ. It is a part of the body for equalizing the pressure on both sides of the eardrum. Okay, so this eustachian tube, there is a connection between the ear as well as our pharynx or throat, and that connecting tube is the eustachian tube. It is it is for maintaining the balance inside our ear, to maintain the pressure. It is a pressure maintaining, or pressure keeping the pressure in a balanced state. That is the function of the eustachian tube. That is why because of the eustachian tube, the ear has a connection with our pharynx. That is why when we are putting ear drops in our ear, we will feel some taste, no? We will feel the taste of the eardrops. That is because of this connection, eustachian tube. It is the eustachian tube is to maintain the pressure inside our ear. It is to keep the pressure inside our ear. That is a function of eustachian tube. And the entire tympanic membrane actually consists of 3 layers. The tympanic membrane consists of 3 layers. The outer layer of it is a very thin and transparent membrane, and the outer layer of the tympanic membrane consists of a very thin skin. It is very thin skin, and it is a continuation of the external auditory canal. The outer layer of the tympanic membrane is mere. It is a very thin skin. It is a layer of skin that is a continuation of the external layer, and the inner layer is a mucous membrane. Inner layer of the tympanic membrane is a mucous membrane, that is also inner lining, that is also very thin mucous membrane. Okay, the inner layer. And between the inner layer and the outer layer of the tympanic membrane, there is a fibrous tissue. It is made up of circular and radial fibers that provides the membrane the stiffness. So the tympanic membrane consists of the tympanic membrane. Uh, it is it is like this. This is the canal, auditory canal. This is the tympanic membrane. From the tympanic membrane, what is the ear bones? From the tympanic membrane, only the ear bones are connecting. So these are ear bones, and this is a tympanic membrane, and the tympanic membrane consists of three layers. Outer layer of tympanic membrane is skin. It is in a continuation. It is in continuation with the external auditory canal, and the middle layer, it is a fibrous layer. Middle layer is fibrous layer that provides the stiffness, and the inner layer is mucus. Mucus inner layer. Inner layer is mucus. So these are the layers of tympanic membrane. It is a very thin and a transparent membrane. To the tympanic membrane only, the sound waves are coming through the external auditory canal and hits. The sound waves are hitting on the tympanic membrane. The tympanic membrane starts vibrations, and this vibration will move on to the ear bones or ear ossicles, and through these ear ossicles, the vibrations are reaching the oval window. This oval window is an opening towards the inner ear. So through this oval window, this is the oval window. Oval window. The meeting will end in 2 minutes. This is the oval window, and through the oval window, what the sound waves are reaching the inner ear. Inner ear. Okay. After the three bones, that is the malleus, incus, and the stapes. This is the stapes. Stapes is connecting with the oval window. Stapes is a very small bone which is present in our body. It is inside our middle ear, inside the middle ear. That is the smallest bone in our body. Smallest bone in our body, that is stapes. Stapes. Stapes is connecting with the oval window. So the tympanic membrane is connected with the malleus. Malleus is the first ear bone. Malleus is connecting with the incus. Incus is connecting with the stapes. And the stapes has a connection with the oval window as well as incus. Stapes is a connecting link between middle ear and the inner ear. Middle ear is connected with the inner ear with the stapes. Middle ear is connected with the inner ear with the stapes. Okay, so stapes is a connection between middle ear and the inner ear. Tympanic membrane is a connection between the external ear and the middle ear. External ear as well as the middle ear. External and the middle ear are connected by tympanic membrane. Middle ear is connected with the inner ear. Middle ear is connected with the inner ear through stapes and the oval window. So this is a tympanic membrane, and tympanic membrane is nourished with the blood supply. It consists of blood vessels. It is highly vascularized. Tympanic membrane is also known as eardrum. It is a very delicate membranous structure that vibrates in response to the sound waves. Okay.
Yeah.
Sound waves which are tapping on the outer surface of the ear, and it is highly vascularized. It consists of blood vessels. Uh, okay, so now I think we can move on to this middle ear. Okay, so that is all about the tympanic membrane. It consists of blood vessels as well as nerve fibers. That is why if anything hurts in our tympanic membrane, it is highly sensitive to pain because blood vessels are there, nerves are also there. Now we can see the middle ear cavity. Middle ear cavity. It is a middle ear. Middle ear. Now we will see the middle ear. Sorry. Oh, middle ear. Middle ear. Middle ear is a air-filled cavity. It is air-filled space. Middle ear is air-filled space. Okay, and middle ear, there is a slight construction in the middle ear. It divides the middle ear into upper and lower chamber, upper and lower compartments, or upper and lower chamber. It is a tympanic membrane. From here. These three ear bones are attaching. Three ear bones are there, which is attached with what, the oval window. So here comes the oval window, is here oval window. So this part is the middle ear. It is an air filled, it is an air filled cavity. It is an air filled cavity, consists of three bones, and these bones vibrate in response to the vibrations of the tympanic membrane. And it also has the what else is there, eustachian tube is also there, which is connecting to the pharynx. It equalizes the pressure inside our ear. And the three ear ossicles are malleus. First one is malleus. Malleus is hammer shaped structure. It is a hammer shaped structure. Malleus is hammer shaped structure. Hammer shaped structure. And this malleus articulates with the incus on other side. This is the incus. So this the first one is a malleus, and the incus. Incus is an anvil shaped structure. It is anvil shaped structure. Incus, anvil shaped structure, and incus connects with the stapes. Stapes on one side, on the other side it is connect with the malleus. And stapes is a stirrup shaped, horseshoe shaped structure, or it is also known as stirrup bone. Stirrup shaped structure. Stirrup shaped structure. Stirrup shaped structure. So these are the three ear ossicles which are present in our in our middle ear. And our middle ear also consists of some arteries as well as veins are also there. So these three bones function like your internet connection is unstable. Very good. Here today there are a lot of problems here. To intensify the vibrations, these three ear bones are functioning. Okay, these three ear bones, malleus, incus, stapes, which intensify the vibrations. These intensify the vibrations of sound. Intensify the vibrations of sound. Okay, so they transfer the vibrations of sound from the eardrum to the inner ear. Inner ear. That is through the oval window. Through the oval window, the vibrations are reaching the inner ear, and inner ear consists of many other structures. Inner ear consists of the cochlea as well as semicircular canal. It is a cochlea and like this, semicircular canal like this. So this is the inner ear. This part is the inner ear. Inner ear. Inner ear. So the vibrations of sound are passing through the ear ossicles. It reaches through the oval window and it reaches the inner ear. When the tympanic membrane comes back to normal, the stapes and the oval window also get back to normal position. After vibrations, the tympanic membrane comes back to normal. Simultaneously, the last ear bone, the third ear bone, stapes and oval window also comes back to normal position. Okay, so the eustachian tube is a tube-like structure, which is it is also known as the auditory tube. Auditory tube. Eustachian tube is the auditory tube. Auditory tube, which connects the middle ear with the nasopharynx. That is a connection between the middle ear with the pharynx or nasopharynx. Okay. Now we can see the inner ear. Inner ear. Now we can see the inner ear. Inner ear. Inner ear. Inner ear is a it is a fluid. fluid filled. It is a fluid filled chamber. Inner ear is a fluid filled chamber. Okay, it is a fluid filled chamber which consists of cochlea and three semicircular canals like this. Inner ear. This is the semicircular canal. Semicircular, semicircular canal. It is a organ for balance or equilibrium. Semicircular canal. And this snail-like structure, this part is a cochlea. This snail-like structure, which is known as a cochlea. This coiled-like structure is a cochlea. Cochlea. This is a organ for hearing, audition. These are the two components of the inner ear. Inner ear. Inner ear. So inner ear consists of two organs. One is one is an organ for balance, and the other one is an organ for hearing. The organ for balance is a ring like three rings, which are known as semicircular canal, which are perpendicular to each other. These semicircular canals are perpendicular to each other. These are three ring-like structures, which are the organs for balance, and this cochlea is a long and coiled structure. It is a long and coiled structure like this. This is the cochlea. It consists of fluid. That is why the inner ear is a fluid filled cavity. These semicircular canals as well as the cochlea consist of a fluid. And the vibrations of the fluid makes the cochlea as well as the semicircular canal also to vibrate. That makes a change in the membrane potential. That makes a change in the membrane potential of the cochlea as well as the semicircular canal. So here the cochlea is the organ for hearing. It is a organ for hearing. It is a highly coiled tube which is about 35 millimeters long. Cochlea is about 35 millimeters long. Cochlea. It is divided into three parts. The cochlea is divided into three parts that we will study in our next class. So, dear students, here you can see a video.
The human ear is made up of three parts: the outer, middle, and inner ear. The outer ear consists of the pinna, which serves as protection for the delicate inner parts of the ear, and the external auditory meatus, the ear canal, which collects sound and directs it towards the eardrum. The shape of the pinna also helps to detect where sounds are coming from in the vertical plane, that is, from above or below the ear. The middle ear is an air-filled cavity located in the temporal area of the skull. It consists of the eardrum, the tympanic membrane, the ossicles, and the eustachian tube. The tympanic membrane is concave with an area of between 60 and 90 millimeters, and an average thickness of just 0.07 of a millimeter, and it has a very rich blood supply. Sound waves enter the ear canal and strike the tympanic membrane, setting it in motion. The louder the sound, the more the membrane moves. The middle ear also contains three small bones, known as the ossicles. These are connected in a chain across the middle ear, from the tympanic membrane to the entrance of the cochlea, called the oval window. The ossicles are called the malleus, the hammer, the incus, the anvil, and the stapes, the stirrup. The handle of the malleus is attached to the tympanic membrane, and the base of the stapes, known as the stapes footplate, sits loosely in the oval window of the cochlea, held in place by the annular ligament. The tympanic membrane vibrates in response to sound. The eardrum moves the malleus, which in turn moves the incus, and then the stapes, the footplate of which moves in and out of the oval window, and transfers the energy to the endolymph fluid in the cochlea. The inner ear has two distinct portions, the vestibular portion, concerned with balance, and the auditory portion, the cochlea, which is concerned with hearing. The vestibular portion is made up of 3 semicircular canals. Each canal has a swelling at one end, the ampulla, and 2 membranous sacs, the utricle and the saccule. These contain fluid and sensory cells.
All these parts we will study in our next class. But anyway, you just watch the video.
Which move in response to head movements and travel to indicate the body's status. The vestibular system works in conjunction with the eyes and the receptor cells in the joints of the body to continuously maintain our balance. The cochlea appears as a coiled tube in the shape of a snail shell, with between 2½ and 2 3/4 turns. It is wrapped around the acoustic portion of the auditory nerve. If we were to unravel the cochlea, it would be about 35 to 40 millimeters long. It is split into 3 distinct sections.
So here you can see the three distinct parts of the cochlea, 3 different parts of the cochlea.
Known as the scala vestibuli,
One is scala vestibuli, second one is, see here.
scala media, and scala tympani.
So these are the 3 parts of the cochlea: scala vestibuli, scala tympani, and scala media. Scala vestibuli, scala tympani, and the scala media. These are the 3 parts of the cochlea. Cochlea is a membranous structure, and the 3 parts of the cochlea. Cochlea is divided into 3 chambers. One is scala vestibuli. Second one is scala media, then scala tympani.
The scala vestibuli and the scala tympani contain perilymph fluid.
Here you can see the perilymph, the scala vestibuli and the scala tympani. These 2 are the big chambers. These are the large chambers, scala vestibuli and the scala tympani. Whereas scala media is the middle chamber, that is a very small chamber. And the perilymph, it is a fluid which is present in scala vestibuli and the scala tympani.
The scala media contains endolymph fluid.
And the fluid endolymph is present in scala media. So there are 2 fluids which are present in our inner ear. One is perilymph and the other one is endolymph. Perilymph is present in scala vestibuli and scala tympani, whereas endolymph is present in scala media. Scala vestibuli, scala tympani, and scala media are the 3 chambers of the cochlea. It consists of ear fluid, and the fluid vibrates as a result of vibrations of the ear bones, tympanic membrane and the ear bones. First, the tympanic membrane starts vibrating. Later, that vibrations are in continuation with the vibrations of the ear bones, and these vibrations enter in the inner ear, and the fluid starts vibrating like ripples in a pond, isn't it? നമ്മൾ വെള്ളത്തിലൊക്കെ കല്ല് ഇട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അതിങ്ങനെ റിപ്പിൾസ് ഫോം ചെയ്യില്ലേ, ഓളങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാവുന്ന പോലെയാണ് ഇയറിന്റെ ഉള്ളില് പെരിലിംഫ് ആസ് വെൽ ആസ് എൻഡോലിംഫ് ആർ ദി ഫ്ലൂയിഡ്സ് വിച്ച് സ്റ്റാർട്ട്സ് വൈബ്രേഷൻ.
The Reissner's membrane separates the scala vestibuli from the scala media.
Here you can see it is a separation between the 2 chambers. Scala vestibuli is separated from scala media through a membrane-like structure which is known as a Reissner's membrane.
And the basilar membrane separates the scala media from the...
Here the scala media is separated from scala tympani by basilar membrane. Scala media from scala tympani through basilar membrane. 2 membranes are there. One is Reissner's membrane, other one is basilar membrane. Reissner's membrane separates scala vestibuli from scala media, whereas basilar membrane separates scala tympani from scala media. Scala media is the middle chamber.
The scala tympani. Along the basilar membrane are 2 types of sensory cells, or hair cells, called...
These hair cells, these are the sensory cells. These are very important. Hair cells or sensory cells, which are present in the cochlea.
The outer and inner hair cells.
Outer hair cells are there, inner hair cells are there.
These are arranged in their rows according to the frequency or pitch of sound they detect and covered by the tectorial membrane.
These hair cells are covered with, over the hair cells, you can see another membrane, that is a tectorial membrane. The hair cells, outer hair cells are there, inner hair cells are there. They are the sensory cells. Sensory cells, they receive sound waves. Sensory cells, hair cells. And the hair cells are covered with the tectorial membrane, a membrane-like structure which is present over the hair cells. It is known as a tectorial membrane.
Each hair cell has tiny hair-like projections, called stereocilia, attached to them.
These tiny hair-like projections are present over the hair cells. That is why it is known as hair cells, because of the tiny hair-like projections. The tiny hair-like projections are known as stereocilia. 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 Learn all these terms.
When sound energy is transferred to the cochlea, the basilar membrane vibrates up and
The
down.
basilar membrane starts vibrating first. Then that in turn vibrates the hair cells, stereocilia, and the tectorial membrane.
Causing the outer hair cell stereocilia to shear on the tectorial membrane above. This shearing action causes the stereocilia to bend.
Then the stereocilia, the hair-like projection, starts bending. It is like dancing. It starts vibration, then it bends. When the stereocilia bends, it makes all the ion channels inside the chambers to get opened. That makes the movement of ions in and out of the membrane. That makes the membrane potential difference, action potential or impulse transmission.
Which opens the ion gates, leading to chemical changes and a resulting electrical charge inside their cells.
Like this, the sound waves are converting into electrochemical impulses. Here you can see the impulses are going to the brain.
These charges make a
See, the impulses are running to the brain.
neural impulse, which travels along the
These impulses are carried by the auditory nerve. Auditory nerve. Auditory nerve from the ear. It is a nerve from the ear to the brain, which carries the sound waves to the brain.
auditory nerve to the brain, and which is interpreted as sound. This complex mix of physical, chemical, and mechanical processes occurs almost instantaneously and creates our perceptions of the sounds we hear in everyday life.
So that is enough, dear students.